pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Silence, please. Thank you. Have a seat. I have an announcement today. We're going to go for public meeting. From now on, it's going to be live. It's going to be an hour after the public meeting. It is done. The people can go and watch in the computer. And they're going to go to the website, noracopa.net. Correct, Jeff? Okay, you can put it on. Ready? Thank you. Okay, now we have call to order the Northumberland County Board of the Election meeting agenda. Call to order, or do we not do that? We do that? Okay,
Public input on agenda items.
Oh, any public input on the agenda item only for the Northumberland County Board of the Election and Media agenda? Here none.
Mr. Chairman, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the November 19th, 2013 Election Board meeting.
Second.
Any question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Here carry.
A motion is needed authorizing the Election Board to ratify the signing of the following reports on behalf of the election office listed as agenda items 5A through F.
Second.
Any question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay, anything under old business? Here none. Anything under new business? Here none. Public input? Here none. Oh, public input.
At a prior meeting, when I had requested about a salary board.
That's for...
This is for the election board.
It's the
Yeah, we're in the
I'm
election
sorry.
board right now.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Kelly, that's election. Okay, here none. Recess. We recess the agenda for the Northumberland County Board of Election. Okay. Now we're going to... Where's my agenda? Oh. Sorry. Okay, before we go any further, I want to present a certificate to Frank Garrigan to be the Employee of the Month to save the public record. I understand that Frank, you was the initiator for that?
For what?
To implement $1 million for the foundation. What's
I didn't give any of them. I had some conversations with Mr. Affelbaum, but the money's coming from the Dagenstein Foundation. I think all the appreciation goes to the Dagenstein Foundation. Thank you.
I want to participate with the Employee of the Month. Thank you, Mr. Garrigan.
That was unexpected. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, citizen input on the agenda item.
Budget update.
Whether they have a citizen input in the agenda item only. That's first. Okay. Correct. Okay. Next, I don't hear nobody come to the podium. I'm going to say the budget update.
The budget update.
And no controller.
For 2013, tomorrow will be the last day that we're going to be accepting invoices for 2013 expenses to be posted back into 2013. As we stand now, the county is on budget for 2013. At this point in time, there's no further updates on everything because the closed packets are due into the controller's office at the end of February, and then by the time we close our books to get the final numbers will probably be...
What day everything they should come in to close the book?
The packets are supposed to be in the controller's office by the end of February. The controller's office has to review them and then
When they ask to go to the account.
correct. The accountants usually come in sometime around June, I think they started.
Controller, you ready for everything by June? You will be in target.
We're going to start on the closeout packets, even the ones that come in earlier than February 28th, we'll get started on them right away.
What happened, I understand that when I was away, you lost an employee, you replaced your employee here?
I'm still in search for that.
Oh, you still will be searching for somebody, but you're gonna replace that, that position is very important. You know.
Very important, yes, I plan on replacing her.
All right, so, okay. You have nothing else in the...
Do you have any other update?
No, you hit the two things that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Gary.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Finance Office for payroll number 2 in the amount of $661,249.85.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the County Controller's Office in the amount of $7,020,284.43 from December 21st, 2013 to January 24th, 2014.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on January 6, 2014.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Announcements. The Courthouse Administration Center, Human Services Complex, and related county facilities will be closed on Monday, February 17, 2014, in observance of President's Day. A motion is needed authorizing permission to advertise for the following: a request for proposals for cleaning services for the Northumberland County Administration Center, Courthouse, and Career Center.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to approve the exoneration of the county portion of taxes in the amount of $720.89 for the property located at 244 East 2nd Street, Mount Carmel, for demolition by the borough as submitted by the Tax Claims Bureau.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the addendum to the original agreement with the Commonwealth Security of Sunbury to include the Special and Conflicts Counsel Office at a cost of $590 for a connection fee and 10 months of service.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the State Tax Equalization Board voucher form for transfers of real estate for the month of December 2013 as submitted by the Assessment Office.
Second.
Okay, the question, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the Juvenile Court Judges Commission Grant and Aid Award in the amount of $151,537 for the period of July 1st, 2013 to June 30th, 2014, as submitted by Juvenile Court Services, and this is a ratification.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the following reports listed as items number 13A through C on the agenda. Need a motion?
Okay, we have a
I'll make the motion.
second, on the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
I
carries.
just like to abstain from C part of it, if that's the one for the human resources, list of hires and fires.
That's the next item.
That's the next one.
Yes.
I'm fine.
Okay.
A motion is needed acknowledging receipt of the following reports. A, Tax Claims Bureau reported a total of $206,807.04 collected in taxes for the period December 23rd, 2013 to January 26th, 2014, as submitted by the Tax Claim Bureau. And B, Assessment Change Report for the period of December 4th, 2013 to January 2nd, 2014, as submitted by the Assessment Office. And C, a list of individuals no longer employed and new hires for Northumberland County as submitted by the Human Resources Department.
Mr. Chairman, if we could just separate A and B from C, I think I wasn't able, I'm able to see the list of the human resource officers.
Okay, we're gonna separate that.
Motion.
Motion.
On A and B?
A and B.
I'll make the motion on A and B.
I second the, he moves, okay, any question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried.
Need a motion
And
for
then
C.
On C, I'll make a motion on C.
I second the motion. Everybody's, any question, everybody's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And one abstention.
And one abstain.
One abstention.
Everybody abstain.
Number 15, a motion is needed authorizing the chairman to ratify the signing of the following reports listed as 15A and B in the agenda.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
16, a motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshops/seminars as in accordance with the county's personnel manual travel reimbursement policy listed as 16A.
Make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, so any question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
A motion is needed to sign and approve the union agreement between the County of Northumberland and the International Union Security, Police, and Fire Professionals of America, SPFPA, and its affiliated Local 502 SPFPA for the period of January 1, 2014 to December 31st, 2016.
Second.
Any question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
A motion is needed to adopt the following honorary certificates and letters. Certificate Frank W. Garrigan, Employee of the Month for January. B, wedding anniversaries. Mr. and Mrs. Edward Strike, Mount Carmel, 70th wedding anniversary. Mr. and Mrs. William Latchaw, Northumberland, 65th wedding anniversary. Mr. and Mrs. Caleb Clark, Danville, 40th wedding anniversary. And Eagle Scout Awards, Joshua A. Brown, Milton, Boy Scout Troop 522, and David Everett, Milton, Boy Scout Troop 522.
Second. Any question?
One comment I'd like to make, and this I'm sure won't come as any surprise to anyone. With respect to the Employee of the Month, and Frank, you know, I've expressed to you my appreciation for your work and your opinions. When this initially was brought up some time ago, as you may recall, I didn't vote for it because it was essentially, in my opinion, sort of a politicized, thing where we were going to reward someone who happened to be in the favor of the majority of the commissioners, because there was no sort of approval process, there was no nomination process of rank and file employees, and it was being given out in many cases, as in this case, to essentially a department head as opposed to rank and file employees. I would note that there was another employee who was actually put through, and we received an email back on January 14th regarding the fact that he had gone through the process, been nominated. That has now been, I guess, bumped back. And I think we've seen from Commissioner Clouse's comments earlier why that was. Again, this has been politicized, something it shouldn't be. It cheapens it for all the employees who receive it when that happens. It makes it something that really lacks any meaning for the employees who do work hard for the county who receive this. I would note that, and Gary, you can confirm this, I've already confirmed it with one of the other members of the committee that was formed to actually review this, that this actually was not presented to the committee to approve. This was something that I don't know who said to put this on the agenda or to give this, but it did not go through the committee.
That's correct.
It did not go through the committee, is correct.
It did not.
Okay.
All
right.
Yes.
And I think it's clear why.
I
Again, Frank, it's no reflection on your
I didn't
opinions, but I
request
think it needs
this
to be said.
honor, and I don't frankly, prefer to ride under the radar.
Mhm.
I respectfully decline the honor of Employee of the Month.
It's been made a disgrace, yes.
I appreciate what I have.
I have a lot of nice things to say about Frank, and I think I've told him those things, but there was a process that was set up to depoliticize this and make it something meaningful, and like everything you touch, you've had to corrupt and taint it.
Please, I told them to take full responsibility. Let's move on, please. So we voted the motion or not?
You're the chairman, I don't know if you called a vote.
You make the motion, right? I second. And the question? aye. Aye. Mr. Shuffle abstain, voted no. Thank you, let's move on. Solicitor report.
Motion to adopt Resolution R04-14 as presented by the Solicitor, Maintenance and Service Agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County District Attorney's Office and the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. The Pennsylvania District Attorney's Institute for the Statewide Automated Victim Network and Notification, SAVIN systems, which will enhance existing victim services efforts by creating and implementing an automated system of notification that will be available to victims 24/7.
Second.
Any questions? In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution R05-14 as presented by the Solicitor. Grant agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County Emergency Management Agency and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for the 2013-2014 Emergency Management Performance Grant, EMPG, in the amount of $53,517 to support the approved personnel costs within the department.
Second.
Question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution R06-14 as presented by the Solicitor. Resolution of the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Tax Claim Bureau for the exoneration of taxes.
I'll make the motion.
Second question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution R07-14 as presented by the Solicitor. Professional services agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners acting on behalf of the Northumberland County Court of Common Pleas and April Rivers Esquire to act as judicial law clerk and secretary receptionist for the senior judges when they are presiding for the Court of Common Pleas of Northumberland County.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Okay, second. On the question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution R08-14 as presented by the Solicitor. Professional services agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the courts and Irvin Blank and Associates for court reporting services.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt Resolution R09-14 as presented by the Solicitor. Agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the following service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 4. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does the organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors.
Second.
Question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All business, anything under all business? Mr. Hill.
Thank you. At the last meeting, you were away, and I had made a request in regard to a salary board. And since that time, I was informed by the chief clerk that in actuality, I don't have a chief deputy coroner, and that I have 2 deputies, but not a chief deputy. But I find that to be incorrect, that Mr. Gottlob, after my election in 2001, was appointed chief deputy coroner of the county. He is a full-time employee of the county. I do have his check stubs. His last check in December of 2001, he received, his gross income was $235.38. And his pay increased in January of 2002 to $457.03. Mr. Gottlob's a nice guy, but he's not that nice of a guy that I think the county would double his pay had it not been for his movement upward as the chief deputy coroner. I also have a copy of his certificate from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Can I stop right there? You say
Certainly.
nobody's paid?
The reason being, he went from being a deputy coroner to chief deputy coroner.
He never come to this meeting.
Pardon?
He never come to us out.
It
Back in
wasn't, you were not a
2001.
commissioner at the time.
Oh, that was in
This was in 2001 going into 2002.
Yeah, but also we find the paperwork in 2000, I believe it was in 2008. They went to a salary board, to split the full-time position to two part-time positions. You have that?
That was not in 2008, that was actually back in the 90s. If you could give me some time, I can explain to you exactly how the history of the coroner's office has gone. Mr. Ulrich was elected coroner in 1989. In December of 1989, Mr. Ulrich as coroner, myself, and also Mr. Dick Simpson, Richard Simpson, we attended the medical legal death investigation seminar for coroners, and the paperwork that I have here, it states that I could assume my duties as a full-time deputy coroner. Not long after that, for personal reasons, Mr. Simpson had to leave the office, and a gentleman who was a current sitting magistrate actually in the county took on that job as the deputy coroner. He went away, became certified, came back, and he was also a full-time deputy coroner. I was the chief deputy. This gentleman was the full-time deputy. It was in about 96, 97, that gentleman, it became too time consuming, so Mr. Ulrich approached the salary board. It had nothing to do with since my tenure as coroner. He had asked the salary board if he could take the deputy coroner position, not the chief deputy, the deputy coroner position, split that pay in half, okay? But the two deputies would get full-time benefits.
What is a report in the record? Do you have any proof? Because that was a report in the salary.
I don't have, you have better access to these records than I do.
We have a record when it's said in the salary board, the chief deputy, the deputy coroner, to eliminate the position and make the two part-time position.
Correct.
Okay, that's
correct.
in the record.
That was back in the 90s.
Okay, that's
Right,
what's in
that
the
was back,
record.
and I don't dispute that whatsoever.
Mr. Cole,
Yeah, I'm not disputing
That's
that.
in the record, we have the record.
Mhm.
So we know for the record, and we continue to do the stuff the way it was done for 20 years, I believe, as a county commissioner, I will fraud the taxpayer.
Well, and I agree with you on that sense, Commissioner, but you're talking about deputy coroners, I'm talking about a chief deputy coroner, which is what Mr. Gottlob is. He's not a deputy.
So you-
Barry Lysenring is a deputy coroner.
Can you tell me in the record, in the payroll record, what do you find us to pay a benefit package to the people? It never was approved by salary board, never.
Why would he have gone to school?
I don't have a clue.
Why would he have had his pay doubled from $200 some to $400 some? It was because he moved from being a deputy coroner to the chief deputy coroner.
Mr. Kelly, we can go from, we can speak from year to next year. The record that we have, it was one full-time position that split to two part-time positions, they created two jobs.
The deputy coroner position, which was a full-time position, was split. The chief deputy position was never touched,
But you never had it.
ever. Yes, I did. Mr. Gottlob became the chief deputy coroner upon my election.
Can you tell me why?
I can't prove what's in the record and
Right,
what's
I'm
not
saying
in a record.
Let me ask you a question. You used to be assistant deputy coroner too?
Chief deputy coroner.
Okay. In the record, who gave you, as a chief deputy coroner, who gave you the authority to receive a full-time benefits when you was not entitled for?
I was entitled to it. I was a full-time
Yeah.
deputy. It says it right here, full-time deputy.
It-
By the
it's not
state.
payroll. What said
The state.
payroll, we checked the payroll, what the payroll said, part-time position?
You mean the paying compensation?
Yeah, the pay compensation. Oh, Mr. Scully, what said the pay compensation?
It's a deputy.
It's a deputy, but what he said, it's a part-time position or full-time position? Part-time position. So in my opinion, it never was a full-time position, and we as a county commission, we have an obligation to look, to save money. We find a mistake, whatever you want to call it, was a mistake, it was an error, it was a purpose, we don't know what it was. So we took it away. Now,
And I understand that, and I am not disputing what you're saying in regard to the deputy coroner position. I am talking about a chief deputy coroner, which is a full-time position, and the person who holds that position is entitled to the benefit package.
Well, and we can go back and forth about this, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you had requested a salary board meeting, which by law you have a right to, and I don't know where things are in terms of getting that scheduled, because that, no matter what happened in the past, at that salary board meeting, we can make a determination as to what will happen now. I don't know, has there been any headway on getting that scheduled?
The salary board, when you guys have the salary board, I know what's gonna happen, because I spoke to new controller, and he says he's gonna vote for Mr. Kelly, deputy coroner, whatever he's gonna be, he's gonna vote for the insurance. Okay, you're gonna vote for the insurance, and Mr. Kelly's gonna.
I've not had any discussions with you or the new controller about that.
I know what it's gonna, I know what's gonna
Okay,
come.
well, but whether you feel that the outcome of that meeting is something you want or not, it doesn't change the fact he has a legal right to have a meeting called.
And I have a legal right, as a chairman of the board, to call for salary board when I think it's necessary.
No. In fact, Frank, you rendered an opinion the other week that he could not unduly delay the request. If he has a legal right to a meeting, he may not have a right to say the specific date and time that it's going to be held on, but he has a right to have it held within a reasonable period of time.
Who's terminating the reasonable time? Who's gonna terminate that? You?
Well,
Mr. Kelly?
and as I said, and maybe I should pull my email out to Frank, because I knew this is where this was going to go. My response to Frank was to try and impress upon you that part of his opinion, which talked about having to do within a reasonable time, so we could avoid the embarrassing and costly end of this, which is going to be that Mr. Kelly will have to bring a mandamus action to force you to do something that you're legally required to do, which is to call a salary board meeting. So we can do it the expensive way, or we can just do it the way it's supposed to be done.
I cannot believe, and you push for stuff that was done wrong in this county.
I'm not, I'm saying he's calling for a salary board meeting.
Hold on, we spent, taxpayers paid, 3 different people spent over $500,000 illegal. The taxpayers got wrong.
Illegal, you approved every one of the budgets, and every one of the budgets had a line item in, giving them the thing.
I never know there was getting insurance. He come to me before, hold on.
But you're putting,
you're
Commissioner
characterizing it as
Chair,
illegal.
you're putting everything on me by that insinuation to me. I think, and you've dragged my name through the mud. You're also doing it to Mr. Ulrich. You're doing it to a sitting magistrate who has also received benefits through the years. You're doing it to a gentleman who is very involved in Veterans Affairs in the county. You're doing it to the people that are licensed funeral directors and professional people within this county. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing coroners and chief deputies.
You agree with me that we don't have no record, and you people was full-time in the payroll, their part-time position. You agree with me, yes or no?
I don't know. I've never seen the record.
I'm telling you that's what the record, Joe Piccarelli just testified here to say that that's.
There have been lists through the years where part-time employees have a PT after them. My employees have never had PT after them.
Can you agree with me when we find something wrong, we have to correct it? And go
I am not disputing the fact about deputies, what you're saying. What I am disputing is Mr. Gottlob in 2002, at the beginning of my tenure, became the chief deputy coroner.
Okay, you have a deputy coroner, right?
I have a chief deputy coroner and a deputy coroner. The chief deputy the position carries, if I'm out of the county, they're the person in charge.
Who gave you the authority and the deputy coroner to collect insurance without a permission of the board?
It was a continuation of what was done when Mr. Ulrich was coroner.
But now we cut the mistake.
And I don't have a problem with it with the deputy. I'm trying to compromise here. What I'm discussing is the matter of the chief deputy coroner. It's a full-time position. He went.
Mr. Kelly,
I could stand up here till I'm blue in the face.
Hold on. You want a salary board?
I would like a salary
Okay,
board
I
meeting.
will grant salary board to everyone in the county.
Okay, fine.
To you, to the sheriff's department, to the proprietor's office. It's open salary board defense. Everybody's got it. But
Fine.
let me tell you what the rule is. So you want to be on your salary board, I'm going to tell you what the ruling is. You have to send me written what you request. That's the law. That's the rule.
I think he's
Are
already
you
said it.
making that rule?
I'm telling you, you have to tell me, because I got to put in the agenda, when we do the agenda, I have to put in the agenda, what is your request?
That's already been sent to us. That's already been sent.
I never got anything written.
Well, do you bounce his emails back? So he can't
I
receive them?
sent you an email to your county email address. It comes back.
Yeah, I got it.
We're really gonna play this game?
I got it.
I also sent it to your personal email,
I was going through my email.
to your Pentel Data email. It was about 12 days ago.
I don't remember there being a
He
specific
he sent
request.
something about
You have
wanting
to
the
send
salary
me
board meeting.
specific request.
I did.
Right, I'm
Just for a
sorry,
salary.
I would just do it again, and we go through the charade and make it very specific exactly what you want. So it would basically be for the compensation, to review the compensation and adjust the compensation, I guess, for your chief deputy, yeah. So that would be, I would
Which
think that would be
he's been
specific
receiving
enough.
as a full, that's what I mean, I don't even see why a salary board's necessary if they're already taking away the benefits of the deputy coroner, so be it, I will compromise. My problem is with Mr. Gottlob, who is a chief deputy coroner.
Fine.
And what you want is a
Can I ask a
clarification
question?
of, his full-time or part-time status and what his benefits
Okay,
are.
okay, hold on. Chief Cook has a question to ask you. Can he ask you a question?
Mr.
Who?
Kelly, who made Mr. Gottlob the chief?
I made the commissioner's office aware of that back in 2002. That
Where
would
did
have been,
Where did that position, where was that position authorized?
you'd have to ask, you go back to, I have no idea. It was a position that I held but a lack of the record, I can't prove whether the record's there or not.
So you can come here and say, I have a bag of money, okay, I got a check with me, I gotta say, who?
You might be able to say
Wait,
that, but I wouldn't be able
I'm
to
gonna
say
say, who authorized you to take the bag of money?
The question here is, what we're saying is, listen, there isn't something in the record. That may have also been an error on the part of the people who were doing it.
That's exactly
We have
what I'm
another
saying.
matter coming up here in a little bit with this contract with Mr. Stark, where people thought that was still in place and it had expired at some point. So what he is asking for is regardless what the issue was and how it came to be, certainly multiple boards of commissioners have approved that as a line item, so
It's gone
they,
back
apparently, there was
decades.
somewhere along the line, people didn't understand, there was, somewhere along the line, people didn't understand either the nature of that position, or if it was full-time or part-time, and they had a misconception that it was, and certainly that wasn't just on your end, it was on the commissioner's office end as well, including this board, which approved those payments, and approved your budget for the last several years. So, how we got here is one thing, but what he is saying is he wants to call a salary board and put it to a vote to clarify exactly what that position will be considered, full or part-time, and what's involved with that position, and what the compensation for that position will be. And then the rest of this conversation becomes moot.
Mr. Kelly, I grant you the salary board, you have to send it in written. What do you want? Because I gotta go to Mr. Picorella, and he's gonna put it in the agenda item for everybody. So I need a request in writing. What do you have to do? You want full-time, you want the part-time, you want the insurance?
You love to waste people's time.
No, I'm not.
I'm a busy man.
Joe, please tell me how that works, the system.
I understand the process, Mr. Piccarelli, I understand it, but I don't,
I'm a grant you salary board on February 28th, because I got advertised. For the next meeting, the meeting after, next meeting, I will make a motion to advertise, and I will grant everybody a salary board. The 25th, I think it is.
I don't think you have a request from everybody for a salary board. I don't think you can force a row officer who hasn't made a request for a salary board meeting to come to a salary board meeting. They haven't. It's like if you want to open it up and say anybody who makes a request, you want to hold one, fine. But you don't have a request from everyone.
I'm going to open it up to anybody who has a request for increase. You can come forward to the same salary board. Because after that, I'm not going to have any salary board for another year.
Well, no, you'll hold one if a row officer requests one within a reasonable period of time. Well, I won't be the ones, it'll be the row officers and the people who have the right to take you to court on it.
So. Protect the taxpayer, or you're here to waste the money of the taxpayer?
I am here to be able to have the democratic process unfold the way that it's supposed to. And if we're going to protect the taxpayers, we're going to do it within that process, is what I'm here to see is done.
The democratic process, they fraud the taxpayer for 20 years.
You signed off on the budgets that did it for the last, 6 years. So, you've approved that. So apparently, it wasn't just on his end where there was some sort of a miscommunication as to how that happened.
You should not approve any raise for anyone because you vote against the budget. You should be ashamed and embarrassed to approve a raise when you vote against the budget for political gain.
I'm not requesting a raise.
I voted against the budget because there was a lot of other things that went in there, as you know. Okay.
You need a psychiatrist, and I'm gonna...
In the 12 years that I've been,
I'm glad you finally decided you wanted to put this on
I have
live.
never ever
too.
requested a pay increase.
Sideboard, it's grant for anybody who wants to come forward, send the request in written, and the next sideboard will be done the second commission's meeting. It will be the 25th.
25th or the 28th?
25th. When is the next commission?
February
25th.
Okay, next, February 25th, everybody should be a grant for a salary for anybody wants to come forwards, welcome to come forwards. Send to the commission's office, what are your requests, because we're going to put it in the agenda. Without it put in the agenda, I will not act to someone who wants to raise.
So in order, Commissioner Chair, that I can get this to you and it doesn't get kicked back to me like my prior emails, would you please give me your email address?
No, you got a request, you're going to send the request to the office, not to me, to the office.
That's where his other one went.
Okay?
It went to your office.
I told you, it's got to go to the office. My email do not bounce back. Can
Do you
send-
enjoy this? I'm
You
just
send me an
curious.
email, Mr. Kelly, can I address an issue with you? You know, you as a coroner, can you tell me when the last time you went and you email, an county email? Can you answer my question, please?
I don't use my county email often. I use
4
my,
years you didn't go to county email. 4 years.
exactly.
Shame on you. You were coroner.
No.
Shame on you.
why do I need to,
Why I should listen to you then?
why do I need to use my county email when I respond to all my personal emails immediately?
4 years you didn't go.
Immediately.
And you have a-
Because then I have access to the very sensitive, documents that are sent to me to the coroner's office. Not everybody in the county has access to it.
Okay.
No.
Always right.
So that's to answer your question. That's to answer your question.
Kelly's always right, and that was wrong.
Is the concern basically, Jim, that if it goes through the county email, a commissioner or someone like that could go up, view
Exactly.
emails which basically we wouldn't have a right to see, and so you have them go to your personal email, so it
Exactly.
can be kept
There's
within
very
your
sensitive
realm.
documents that go through
You're working
it.
for the county, guys.
I know, I do, and I work very hard for the county,
So.
full time.
Thank you, sir. Maybe you should work a little harder.
What is
Save some money to.
Before I sit down, I did send this request out before. I would love for you to come out and do my job with me.
I don't want to do your job.
Well then,
Do you want to do Microsoft job? You want to?
I probably could. I worked construction many years.
But then come with me, let's see if you could do the job.
Okay. I'm not saying I could do the job. I'm asking you to join me so that you realize what we have to
It's
do.
not my field, it's not my doing.
But then you would understand what's going on.
Yeah, I understand. The only thing I
You have
understand,
no clue.
the only thing I understand, that 20 years, the taxpayer paid $500,000 with no cost. They should have never paid that money. The director. Okay, anybody, anything else on the old business? Anything on the new business, Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, the one thing, and I alluded to it earlier, we previously had a contract with DH Stark Investigation Services for
I was gonna make a motion to
approvals.
renew. I was going to make a motion to renew it today.
Yeah, and that's what we would like to do, just basically renew the same contract under the same terms. He would basically provide, well, just so people understand what it is that we're asking, that we're voting on. It's basically a contract so that we can have, since we don't have a county detective at this point, he can go in and do investigations in the prison if issues come up where there's various allegations. So he can go in, conduct those investigations, report back to the prison board. So I would make the motion that we approve the contract with DH Stark Investigations under the same terms as were in place in the prior contract.
Term and condition, I second the motion.
Okay.
Any question? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Anything else on the new business? Public input. First of all, wait, before we go to public input, I want to thank you, Sheriff, the new sheriff we have. I'm going to call you sheriff anyway. And the first time we see a sheriff in 6 years attend the public meeting without asking for anything. Thank you for coming, sir, and congratulations on your new job. Mr. Kelly, thank you for coming. I wish you continue to come in the public meeting, and you, Mary, you've been coming here for many years. Thank you for coming. Okay. Any public input? Here none, motion to adjourn. Second. Hey, I forgot my, I'm sorry, I forgot.